into the hands of kids. I mean, you just walk down the street and you find porn-related materials, in the gutter.
I've known parents that to teach their kid about sex, they give them a Penthouse or a Hustler magazine. Son, this is what girls look like. Wow, your son's 7. You might want to wait until he hits puberty if you're going to choose to go that route, which I still disagree with, even at puberty. It's just not something that any child should ever see. I remember someone telling me once that when he was a lot younger, he was not into pornography by any means, but he was in the military, and somebody shoved a magazine in his face one day, and he didn't realize what it was, and he turned and looked. And even though he looked away immediately, he said that image was burned in his mind and he fought that image for the rest of his life. Because once he saw that, it just burned itself into his mind. And porn is very addictive, and it's something that sorry, that's a vacuum cleaner. It's something that just doesn't just go away. And I just think that it's very unhealthy and dangerous to be shown that to anybody.
Yeah, I would guess that maybe 10% of the male population is addicted to porn. What would you guess?
Probably. Truthfully, in my church, we have a sexual recovery group for guys and girls, and a lot of it is for guys that struggle with internet porn. Because, they get stuck on the computer, and you punch in the wrong thing, and all of a sudden you got 10 pop-up windows coming up of free porn. And it's just, when it's that out there, when you push it in somebody's face, we're human, and it is our nature to look at that sort of thing because we're curious, and it's very dangerous. It really is. It breaks up marriages. It ruins relationships in general. It ruins men's self-esteem. It also makes them curious, and then they get more curious, and then they turn to transsexuals and animals and children, and that's why a lot of people do what they do, because it's like they keep wanting more. They get a high from it, and then once they don't get that high anymore, they have to push it a little further to get that high. It's like a drug. It really is, and it's unhealthy.
Yeah, and the industry portrays itself as so fun and games and light and fluffy, but for the people who are addicted to the product, it's as damaging as an addiction to alcohol or gambling.
It is. Oh no, it's even worse at times. It really is. They're all addictions, but it's not just a bad habit, it's also a sin. Not that gambling and stuff isn't a sin, but it's different. It's not just affecting you, and when you do drugs, you affect your body. When you do gambling, you affect your finances. When you're looking at porn, it affects a lot more than just, it's affecting your mind, your soul, your family, it affects everything. The way that you look at women, I know a lot of guys think they don't degrade women, but I guarantee you a lot of men see a pretty girl walk by, and the pure ones look at her and go, well, it's a beautiful woman, and the guys that like porn look at her and go, wow, I see her bent over with her foot up on the table, spreading her ass for me. And it's like, yeah, that's just not how you should be looking at a woman.
How would you feel if your daughter started working for a Max Hardcore type or, anyone in the porn industry?
I would love to say that I would go shoot Max Hardcore, but truthfully, I probably would. I do like guns, but no. I really don't know what I would do. That'd be really hard. Or a convent? I don't know. That's something I would have an intervention. Seriously, that would be a really difficult thing for me to deal with. Even coming from it, that would make it even worse. But I wouldn't tolerate it. I would love her regardless. I'm very blessed. My parents know everything about me, and they completely love me, and they support me, and they're hold me accountable, make sure I'm not doing anything bad. They always call and check on me. They're so cute. But I would have to support her and love her, but if she was doing it, I couldn't deal with it. And I would do everything in my power to get her out of it. But ultimately, it's her decision to make the decision to not do it, and I couldn't, no matter what I did, she's the one that has to make decisions in her own life. And I would just pray that I had raised her right, and that she would come to realize that she was wrong, and make the right decision for herself. But it would break my heart.
If your daughter was driving drunk, would you call the police or CHP, or would you?
Yeah, I totally would. She'd hate me. But you don't. It's not like you're just jeopardizing your own life, you're jeopardizing people's lives around you. And I mean, imagine if my daughter was driving drunk and she got in an accident and killed somebody. Then I would feel guilty for the rest of my life that I didn't call the police. It's just, sometimes you have to have tough love.
Do women have a responsibility to dress in a way that doesn't drive men crazy?
Yes, absolutely. And I'm totally to blame for some of that, because I dress sometimes like a little hussy. And I don't mean to dress like a hussy, but sometimes I get in good shape and cute clothes and a cute little body. And, you know, you want to strut around and show it off. You work hard for your body to look a certain way. It's like it makes you feel good when people turn and look at you, because it makes you feel like, wow. But then I used to get grief from my dad when I was younger, not because he had a problem with that at all, but he would always tell me, it's your responsibility. Men look at you with lust, and they're committing adultery in their own mind, and the sin of the mind is just as bad as an actual act. If you commit adultery in your mind, it's the same as doing it. And when you dress like that, guys look at you in that way, and that's what they're thinking. And you're causing them to sin, which, shame on us, but definitely something that most women do. And most women, the problem is most women know they're doing it. And they do it because they know the guys look. So, yeah, shame on us. But they make all these cute clothes.
Why do you think girls do porn?
What do I think? What do porn?
Girls do porn.
Because low overhead. Costs nothing. You're selling the same thing over and over again. And you're young because if you look a certain way, you look good. You need to make money. I think they just do it for the money for the most part. I mean, they say it's because of sex and because they want to be somebody. They want to be famous. They want people to look at them and think they're beautiful and all that stuff. I think truthfully it's about the money. Occasionally you get people that will do interviews. I'm sure you've had girls do interviews that said it was my lifelong dream, my dream since I was like 8 years old to grow up and be a porn star. And it's just like, what? Who thinks about that? Who really thinks, when I grow up, I want to spread my legs and have sex for money? I don't understand that concept. But
what percentage of porn stars do you think are happy?
Truly happy? Probably none. Not truly 100% happy with themselves in their life. They can say they are, and I think they convince themselves that they are, but I think deep down inside they always feel an emptiness. They feel like something is missing, and they feel like they're doing something that's not completely right. And they can say whatever they want to say. I said it. You can look back and read interviews that I did about what a nympho I was and how much I loved sex and how much I loved the business and I had so much fun and I was this wild, crazy creature and sex, you know, all I think about is sex. Whatever, it's a crock, you know. It's not all I think about. I think about God, and I think about a really good, pure relationship with a man, and I think about my family, and I think about having children and how my life is going to affect my children. And when you really think about those things, you stop and you go, wow, this business sucks. How would I feel if my 14-year-old daughter found out that I was a porn star when I was, you know, in my 20s? How is that going to affect her at school? How is it going to affect her friends and the way they look at her? How is it going to affect her sexually in the future? Is she going to become promiscuous because she feels like I lied to her and I misled her? I mean, it's just it's not a natural, normal business. And there's just no way to be completely happy in that business.
What's the quality of sex like? What was it like for you in porn?
You know, there were, I would play a character, and I would basically, I mean, a lot of it was who I really am. I just kind of took the emotions and the morality out of myself, put them on the shelf for a little while, a couple years, 5, and let the rest of my wild side go. And so, yeah, I allowed the sex to be good, because it can be if you allow it. There were times where I got emotionally attached, like with, you know, the guy I'm seeing now. We got emotionally attached while we were still both working in the business. And so our scenes on camera were truly really, really intense.